this may be an impossible question, to encapsulate that feeling of victory and what I achieved.
Well, you can't really, because we tried to get on the event together for 3 years before. Bob had tried 4 years, I think, and we've been runners-up, and then finally we got to the event in '89, and kind of when your focus is that for so long, and it does mean so much, but when you get there and we won it, which is fantastic, absolutely fantastic, because we focused on that fully, but you don't fully appreciate what you've done, what you've achieved, I don't think, until years afterwards. So it was an amazing thing.
Time we were all just having, youngsters having a go, and very keen to sort of put ourselves forward. We didn't really see it as one versus the other, but we were just all trying to get on it really. And it was. But I remember when he did get on it, you think, oh bloody hell, why is he so much better than me?
They were more interested in getting a team together. So they were concentrating on not individual skills as such, but what would complement. One guy might be a good driver, and then the other driver might have been fit and able to do something else, and they were concentrating on team building.
I think it's not just the physical sort of strain, it's the mental strain as well. Keep your concentration up. We're driving along roads like this for 6-7 hours in darkness. It's really hard to pick out the potholes, but you just got to keep your mind on it all the time. And that drains you as much as anything, I think.
We're coming up on this thick, nasty bog up here, and there's about 3 or 4 cars stuck on the right-hand side. They took the wrong line. What you have to do is go to the left and really put the welly to it. You get up on 2 wheels, but don't worry about it. You won't go over. Me, he's stuck again. Jesus Christ, what is the f***ing matter with him? We told you to go to the right, and you went to the left. Then you got excited and went to the right again.
We all wonder how the Camel Trophy came about to happen. A neighbor in the small town of Bad Godesberg, a neighbor to us was a British journalist. He came for coffee or tea sometimes. All the embassies, 120 embassies, were in my neighborhood. And this is where the Camel Trophy starts. When I graduated from school, I was the only one that wouldn't go to university. So I graduated when I was 17. And the first thing I did, I joined Lufthansa and the German Foreign Office. I was to become the fixer, the liaison manager, the travel manager of the German diplomatic corps, ministers, government projects, anywhere on the planet. And I would travel 5 years non-stop. Every day of the year, between Bolivia and New Guinea and India in the 70s, 1974 to 1978. Until R.G. Reynolds Tobacco had sent a letter to me asking whether I was interested to see them in their headquarters in Geneva. They had heard of a young man who had traveled all over the planet. This is our camel man, Bob Beck. We want his legend, his life, his image. Can you come up with any idea? You have traveled the world. What can we do? And I think it was quite spontaneous. I said, you take this very vehicle that you use for your print shoots, and we take it on the road. and we do proper trips somewhere in the tropics. And this is how I designed the first Camel Trophy in 1980. We took those vehicles on the Trans-Amazon Highway, which is called Trans-Amazonica in Brazil.
Same year, 1991. So, were you two pitched into battle against each other? Were you mortal enemies at the time?
No bad memories, only good things. No, there was no battle, there was camaraderie.
How is it?
Yeah, friendship.
The German car lost its gearbox, so we had to get paid. And we had to stay behind the whole convoy to wait for the gearbox to arrive by helicopter. The helicopter had to fly twice because the first gearbox was a Discovery gearbox, which obviously didn't fit into our car. No, it was a 110 gearbox, Defender gearbox. The Belgian team and the Polish team decided to stay behind with us to help us exchange the gearbox. And one workshop with the power gun
And the gearbox came overnight through, I think, a railway. So a team, Polish people and Belgian people, went off to pick up the gearbox, which came by train. But after 2 days, we got the gearbox, built it in, and so we were behind on the convoy. The convoy left us. And at that moment, there was no communication in the cars between the vehicles, not for the competitors. So how could we manage and know how far the convoy was ahead of us? So what we found out is when we started to move the cars again, on certain trees we found pieces of paper. So somebody had been so clever to put on time and date when they passed that tree. And that's how we could calculate how far we were behind on the main convoy.
they left sending letters and bridging letters for us to be able to cross rivers and cross very muddy areas, which we had to use and had to pick up and load onto the roofs of our cars, not to leave them behind. I think if our memory doesn't leave me alone, we were something like 8 or 10 days on until we met up with the convoy again.
What was your interest in Camel Trophy?
That's a question that's quite difficult to answer because obviously I think you've only got to look around at the vehicles and the people that are here to say that Camel Trophy is a very special event. I think all of us that are here today understand that and are very grateful to be part of it. And the main reason the book exists is because of COVID. Basically, I was left with no work at the end of March last year, wondering what I was going to do for 6 months. And I thought, well, I'm going to do this Camel Trophy book, having been a photographer for the last 4 events and obviously met a lot of the guys and girls that were involved with the event. It was just one of those things. I wanted to tell some of those stories, put those stories into print, share some of the amazing photos, and that's why the book started, really. The last one, as you know, was in 2000, so 21 years ago, and obviously the first event, 1980, so 40 years ago. And of course, there was no digital photography, no iPhones, no Dropbox. All this stuff was done analog on film. So it was quite a challenge to try and find those original transparencies. And in fact, this is where the club had a really big part to play in this, because the club, as maybe some of you know, is the recipient of the Camel Trophy archive from 1988 to 2000, which also was an incredible resource to be able to dig into that archive and find pictures that had never been seen before. And that's one of the things that I really wanted to do was find new pictures, find new images that people may not have seen. And I'm also very grateful there's a lot of people here that have supplied photographs from their own personal cameras. They were on the event, taking part on the event as support staff or even competitors. And a lot of people have been very kind and actually offered up their pictures to be used in the book as well. So yeah, it's been really great to do that. But again, thank you to the club for allowing us to use the shots that you have.